So Prothea Kenya is the first ever 3D printing lab that specifically focuses on medical interventions. I'm a surgeon. I amputate every week. That's just one surgeon, right? And there's so many amputations going on because the main issue that leads to the amputations is, traumatic issues with all the boda accidents that we have now, and peripheral diseases like a clot in your arteries that makes the leg die off. And I'm sure you heard of diabetic foot. And the leg just gets so infected. We also amputate cancer, people with cancer. And if the limb is just useless, like if you have a congenital deformity and you're not able to use the limb, one of the treatment options is an amputation. Traditionally, for a below-knee prosthetic, for example, it ranges from about 150K to about $500,000 or to 600. It just depends on the components, because some of them have some carbon fiber fillings and a lot of other things. And we have been able to bring this 150K. With 3D printing, we've been able to bring it to 80K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so at least it has brought it down, but it's still
quite pricey.
Still quite pricey.
Yeah.
And that's all the reason that we're advocating for insurance companies, especially, to just incorporate it in the covers.
Yeah.
Is this the kind of startup that looks at profitability or impact?
Well, I think this one I'd say you have to look at it. Or both.
To be honest, we started with profitability and we kept on telling ourselves we're not an NGO. We're not an NGO. And then we ended up giving them for free. So.
Yeah. How do you split between co-founding a startup, which is a lot of work, and practicing medicine?
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time. But I think the secret is in the people that you choose to, do the work, be on the ground. And you really need to choose well, make sure they're trustworthy, because this is Kenya.
As we all know.
They just put your prosthetics on Gigi.
Yeah. The printers are in the kitchen because that's where the work is.
Stash listening to this.
This is the real startup life.
The printers are in the kitchen. You're printing your leg, yours.
Exactly.
So the patients come to the apartment.
Yeah, so they come into like the sitting room. We have a place for them. About 100 Kenyans are working with our below-knee prosthetics.
Nice.
Yeah, we have made 2 myoelectric hands because it's really expensive. We don't get a lot of that. And about 40 above knee. Sometimes like the limb is so crushed, and as a doctor, you're sure this, we really need to amputate, but you still need consent. Yeah. So we amputate if it's life-saving, by the way. There are times we just do it because, it's your life is way more important. But there are those instances when you're stable, the leg is there, it's like starting to decay and rot, and some actually refuse, and you say, there's no way you're taking my leg.
Hey, welcome back to Startup Soko. Today we have an amazing founder. Actually, I know this guy from back in the day.
Good to see you.
Spill the beans.
So he used to date my little sister. And of course, you're going to get into it. Anyway, I'm joking. Yeah. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
It's really good seeing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's Nick?
Just a guy. I studied medicine.
I'm Dr. Nick. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm now on my journey to be one of the best surgeons you've ever seen. Orthopedic surgeon. I also found Prothea Kenya, and the director, my co-founder, Florian, Belgium dude. Yeah, and we've been working for about 1.5 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
What does your startup do?
Yes. So Prothea Kenya is the first ever 3D printing lab that specifically focuses on medical interventions. So we started off with prosthetic devices. And for us, it was really the easier way to get into the industry. But we want to use 3D printing in all medical sectors. But so far, we are making some pretty neat prosthetic devices, uh, below the knee prosthetics. And it has really revolutionized the industry just by making the devices more affordable, lightweight, customized to fit the patient such that you can't really share. And customization is now affordable, and that's the miracle we've brought to those who need it.
Customization, like if I want to have a label or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. Yes. So you can have any label, but customization in the sense of having your stump, because that is the part that is left once
Connected
the leg is
to-
amputated.
Yeah.
We can scan the stump. And now we have facial recognition technology that scans your face, and that's how you get through the phone. So we use the same technology with an iPhone. There's an open source app that we use, and just scan the stamp, have a 3D model of it. And once we have the model, then we have an app that we developed, and we use that app to make the socket. Now, the socket is the most important part of a prosthetic device. And it's the connection basically to the body. So it's the most important part, and this is what we are 3D printing. So once we've made the model, we send it to the 3D printer, and it does it in a record 8 hours. Previously, it takes a bit longer. In a public facility, you can wait a week to two to have your prosthetic done. But now, in a record 8 hours, you can have your prosthetic. We literally have guys flying in from Burundi, from Rwanda, from Congo to have their prosthetics done. And in like 5 days, they have their return flight and are actually able to walk. And yeah, that is what we've been able to do with 3D printing, scanning, modeling. Yeah.
I think this is the first proper medical.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is real healthcare, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we always have apps that
And WhatsApp me and tell me your sickness.
but buy medicine over
Buy medicine, yeah.
over an app. So how do you get your customers?
Yeah. So the need is there.
Yeah.
There is a huge need for prosthetic devices. You wouldn't even believe it. Now, I'm a surgeon. I amputate every week. And that's just one surgeon, right? And there's so many amputations going on because the main issue that leads to the amputations is, traumatic issues with all the boda boda accidents that we have now, and peripheral diseases like a clot in your arteries that makes the leg die off. And I'm sure you heard of diabetic
Diabetes.
foot,
Yeah.
and their leg just gets so infected. We also amputate cancer, people with cancer. And if the limb is just useless, like if you have a congenital deformity and you're not able to use the limb, one of the treatment options is an amputation. So the need is there, it's growing. In 2015, I just looked at some studies, and they stated that 79% of amputees lack access to prosthetic devices. And
And this is in Africa, I'm assuming.
in Kenya.
In Kenya. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and the main reason is really the cost and lack of insurance
Yeah.
coverage. Yeah, so the ones who can actually afford it have to dip into their pockets. And that's what the company is all about. We're not just making prosthetic devices. We really want to advocate, spread awareness for these devices to cater to this 79%, of which now I know is about 80 something percent.
Yeah. What's the average cost of a prosthetic device?
Yeah, so the thing is, it can cost as much as a car.
Oh, damn. Which car are we talking?
Maybe like a Vitz.
But still, that's quite
or an
expensive. Yeah.
Axio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ranges. So traditionally, for a below knee prosthetic, for example, it ranges from about 150K to about $500,000 or to 600. It just depends on the components, because some of them have some carbon fiber fillings and a lot of added things. And we have been able to bring this 150K. With 3D printing, we've been able to bring it to 80K.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so at least it has brought it down, but it's
Still quite pricey.
Still quite pricey.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all the reason that we are advocating for insurance companies, especially, to just incorporate it in the covers.
So it's not currently most insurance covers don't
Most insurance companies will give you a hard time.
Oh really?
Yes, they'll give you a hard time, and that's really what we are
That's
advocating. And yeah, we'll use even this channel to keep pushing. The
Keep
message.
pushing. Come, but
Are there any electronic components in the prosthetics?
Oh yeah, so there are different types of prosthetics,
Yeah.
and it's interesting that you ask. We recently made a myoelectric hand, where you connect sensors to the stump that is left.
Okay.
And you connect the flexors to flex and extensors to extend. And, with components that we import, you can actually connect onto the muscles and get it working. So there's this girl that we sorted out from Rwanda. And it was so interesting because the first time I saw it, I was like, no, this is not going to work. And we connected it, and it needed a bit of training. Yeah. So she trained like for about 30 minutes, and I stepped out. By the time I was coming back, she could like pinch me, and it was actually painful. Yeah. So yeah, we can have electric ones as well, but they're really pricey as well. Yeah. And really, that's not why Prothea Kenya came in here. We came to serve the less privileged who can't afford it, just to get them back into society. And, yeah.
So do you focus mainly on the less privileged, or are you also focusing on,
Yeah, we focus a lot on the less privileged because, in the setting I work in, we're amputating every day, as I told you, and most of the reasons is trauma and cancer. So, when you're getting the consent to amputate, you tell them you can get a device, but you know that this device is definitely out of the range. Yes, and this is what inspired us to sort of change our business model a bit, because we realized our main market, can't really afford our devices. So we are now looking at donors and different sponsors from wherever to get us funds to provide these devices for free. So we actually currently are running free donation, basically, to those who are below knee and those who cannot afford and those who have not owned a prosthetic device. We're giving 300 between now and December. So that's our goal. So far, we have assessed 78 patients. And yeah, so we are focusing on the less privileged.
You're talking a lot about like the below knee. Is that what you guys are focusing on, or
yeah? So that's a good question. Thank you, because 3D printing has proven to be excellent for the below knee prosthetic.
Okay.
We have had challenges with the above knee. So for the above knee prosthetics, we're still using the traditional way of making it. Yeah.
Which is?
I can explain to you. So you have your stump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you basically get a plaster of Paris, the POP, the cast, and like wrap it around to have a mold. So you let it dry, and then you remove it and fill it in to have a positive mold.
Okay.
Then I use that positive mold to now make your socket. Yeah, so that's how it's done traditionally. So you can imagine the expense in time of the prosthetist, because it's quite time consuming, and he's able to serve one patient at a time, compared to 3D printing, where you can go scanning people 5 minutes each, like 20 people over 5 minutes each. Do the modeling, or like 3 minutes per model, and then let the printer do its work, go sleep. You come back and you have your product. So that's another way that it has sort of freed the labor from the prosthetists. But again, for above knee, we're still looking for solutions, because the main issue was that our printers are too small, so they can't fit a big socket.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and that's why, we haven't really gotten there. But we're looking at to buy bigger printers, and that way now we'll be confident to talk about the above knee. Yeah, but that's really technical. I hope you guys are.
No,
No.
we got it.
No, I
Oh, we're
love it.
switched on.
Amazing.
I think this is like proper use of technology.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as I keep saying, like sometimes the tech ecosystem in Kenya is very uninspiring. People are either building fintech apps to transfer money from me to you, like point of sale systems. You're just like, this is one is inspiring, not why the reason we got into tech. You wanted to work with like doctors and engineers to bring those two together. So
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
exciting.
Thank you so much. And just seeing the smiles. I'm just from the office, and just seeing the
Yeah,
smiles
absolutely. I can imagine.
of the guys getting the free stuff. They can't believe it. They're almost like, "Are you sure it's free?" Like they want to run away.
Because it's a really
once they
traumatic
get it.
event to lose a limb. I can't imagine. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's really part of them. It's
You lose a
it's
part of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this replacement, should work and should be high quality and should work well. Because don't get me wrong, we're not the only ones giving them for free, but
Who
there's
else
a
giving them for
quality
free?
difference. So there's a place, the APDK, which is Association of Physically Disabled Persons of Kenya. They have a partner called Jaipur. And Jaipur has been giving free prosthetics for the longest time.
They do also 3D printing.
But no, they don't.
You get a generic.
Yeah. It's sort of like generic, and there have been some complaints from some quarters. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't discuss that in detail. Yeah.
And just a question. So I'm assuming that no one's stamp is the same, and that's kind of why you have to individually.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the stump changes as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like immediately after surgery, it's a bit swollen with the edema and stuff. And then it shrinks. And that's why we need to maintain it with physiotherapy and toning exercises.
And Pilates.
And Pilates. I did some research, and I found that Pilates is really, really good in even preparing the amputee for the prosthetic. And you find like it really changes. And you find an amputee can have 1, 2, 3 sockets until they find that final socket that actually fits, and then they can use it over some time. Yeah. And also there's the weight gain and loss, just normal weight gain that affects your stump as well.
So do you get a lifetime stump, or you always have to replace it?
Yeah, so you can have a definitive stump after surgery, and once we feel your stump is okay between 6 to 12 months, then now you can have a definitive one. But now it's subject to changes,
This is quite expensive.
It is.
I imagine.
It is an expensive affair. And all the more reason to...
For you guys to target, people who can't afford such care.
Is this the kind of startup that looks at profitability or impact?
I think this one I'd say you have to look at it. Or both.
To be honest, we started with profitability and we kept on telling ourselves we're not an NGO. We're not an NGO. And then we ended up giving them for free. So.
Yeah. At some stage, do you want to go into profitability?
Yes, absolutely. And now it will determine like the type of market, because, amputees vary, and there's some who can actually pay quite a buck. The guys who come and tell you, give me the best one.
Yeah.
The best one is 6 million. It's okay.
Yeah.
Show me. How much is it? Yeah. So that's the type of market we're targeting, mainly in the private hospitals. And then just use the funds, to sort out those who really need it. Yeah. So that's another way.
How do you manage the two, like, target, like, audiences, the really rich who can afford, plus the ones who can't afford? Because I'm like, hey, if they're giving it out free,
yeah, absolutely,
I'll go there.
Absolutely. So, just with our basic packages. So we have a standard. Prosthetic.
So you're just giving more,
and we have a premium, and the difference is really wide. So there's the 80K for below knee, for example, and for premium below knee on our end, it's like a 280K.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and there like we put in all the fancy gadgets and carbon pylons and all that. Yeah, just to make it
Gotcha.
a proper device that you can be proud of. And like this, another thing we want to make our clients be proud of their devices.
Yeah. I like your managers.
Yes.
It looks so cool.
Yes, and that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So 3D printing has given us that freedom that we can make any design that we want. Yeah, if you want your dad's face on your prosthetic, or I don't know.
Ruto must go.
Yeah, like it's possible. Yeah,
Awesome.
so it's really given us some good flexibility.
It's a traumatic thing, but it can also be fun. You can have like 4 of them, like a fat one that today you feel like today I want to walk in a different way, so today I'm going to put on Ruto must go.
Exactly.
Tomorrow,
The other one.
Exactly.
but as normal people, we have to keep on one.
Yeah, and it just reminded me of some Instagram influencer, and for her, she has one for the heels. And like it looks nice and it looks really like her real leg, and then one for like fashion, so it's like a 3D printed one with whatever, and another one for sports, so it's like flat, and then she wears it with
You can have
sneakers. You
amputees
can have different.
participating in sports.
Are you stupid or something?
Yeah, of course.
Surely, Chris.
Of course.
No, like it's. I know there's like
What is the whole
Paralympics.
exactly?
there's
But I'm assuming those must be like high-end prosthetics because you're engaged in a physical activity.
Yep.
It might dislodge and things like that. So perhaps
Yeah.
these are only given to Paralympians.
Yeah, so there are different types of prosthetics, and I'm sure you've seen the cheetah legs for for the sprinters.
Do you do those ones?
So we do it, but
like the one,
of course, we get it from suppliers from
Pistorius had Oscar
Yes.
Pistorius.
Yeah.
from abroad. But an important thing to note is that we also have some donors from the UK who give us secondhand prosthetics. So, by the time we're opening the package, we get lots of fancy parts. And our deal with them is that we should give it for free. We shouldn't sell it to anybody.
Yeah.
So some of our clients end up with some really dope parts.
They can run.
Very
They
expensive
can
parts as well.
Jump like
kick the ball.
kangaroos.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. What made you go to orthopedic surgery? Is that what you always wanted to do?
Well, I wanted to be a pilot, but my dad just killed that. My dad
Good
killed
decision.
that. Yeah, so I got a lot of inspiration from him,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy. Before he passed on, we had some really good discussions about which specialty to do. It's a really hard decision for any doctor to make, and he just reminded me. I got you out from the physics and the math into this medicine, and I think you should be a surgeon. And I do like fixing things, and I think orthopedics is just the perfect blend. It's like physics within medicine.
I'll just imagine you guys just hammering.
Yeah, we're hammering,
Bones in the
we're
machine. Jesus.
reconstructing, we're
Jeez.
just making things work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of creativity involved in it. Yeah.
So you still practice.
Yeah, I do. I practice. I'm about to be an orthopedic surgeon, as I said. And
How many years does it
looking
take?
forward to that. 5 years after medical school,
Yeah,
which
that's
is now 6 years.
Hey, you guys, man.
Yeah, so
I keep up.
By that time, people are like, I'm done.
by the time I'm making it, I'll be gray haired
Yeah.
and stuff. But I love it. I think that's the important thing.
You love
You
it.
must love the work that you do.
Yeah.
So
As a
how
doctor,
do you split between?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. How do you split between co-founding a startup, which is a lot of work,
Yes,
and
it is.
practicing medicine?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. But I think the secret is in the people that you choose to, do the work, be on the ground. And you really need to choose well, make sure they're trustworthy, because this is Kenya.
As we all know.
They just put your prosthetics on Gigi.
Yeah, I think that's the delegation part of it is the most important, just to make things work. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Did you raise any funding?
Yes, so we're privileged to get some funding from the Belgium.
That guy.
Is it exchange for equity or is it a grant?
No, they sorted us out, but really following up closely
Yeah.
with how we're working the funds. Yeah.
Oh, you know,
And still looking for more funds because look, I mean, we need to sort out very
you
many
can ask
people.
for funds on
Yes.
on camera.
Yes, please support our cause. You know, we really need to supply these devices to those who need it. It is an extra appendage, like one they lost, so it's really trying our best to replace it, and just make a difference in their lives. We have our annual fashion show as well. We had one about a few days ago, and it was amazing just seeing the energy in the room, the smiles. And what was best for me is that at 12 o'clock when the event was over, the room was still full. Normally in events, you know, you have like the last guys when you're doing vote of thanks, they're like half the room is gone. But this was actually so engaging for everybody.
Unless there's
Yeah.
alcohol, then
Well, there was actually no much alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah, I can imagine.
because there were kids as well modeling. My own daughter was there. And, you know, yeah, it was really so much fun. And we'll have another one in 2025. So
Inshallah.
yeah,
Cool.
keep on the lookout.
Definitely. What has been the most rewarding of this journey of yours? Yeah, especially just building Prothea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just seeing. I used to say it's all about the smiles because those smiles are just
yeah.
priceless. But now, just thinking about it, it's also the empowerment that we're giving, and we're
Yes.
showing also other employers that you could actually employ amputees, and they work just as well. So we have Belinda, we have Cindy. Cindy is a prosthetist, so she actually makes the devices as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, yes. So for me, I think that's the greatest success. And it should be uh, uh, basically other employers should borrow a leaf and don't dismiss amputees or anybody with disability because, there's a lot of this that goes on. Guys are just dismissed. Literally because of the discrimination. So
wow.
we're really working to have an equitable work environment.
Yeah. How many employees do you have?
Yes. So we had a couple. Let's say 8 employees.
Okay.
And we did some restructuring because the funds weren't coming in as they should. So we are now lean. We are now 3.
Okay.
Yes, and we have contracted a couple of guys. So that's how we've restructured. Yeah.
Focused mainly on creating the prosthetics.
Yes.
I mean, this is the startups that should be receiving millions,
Yeah.
Honestly, like, to me, it doesn't make sense when, like,
all those funds that are created around.
yeah, they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's making a real difference.
Yeah, you are totally making a real difference to people who don't have the, the privilege to
Yeah.
get in like another life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, it's maybe get purchased by like a not purchased. Let's say funded by like Philips or one of the big healthcare providers. And it's like, okay, as part of our social responsibility,
Yes.
we'll throw in like 100 million Kenya shillings.
Yeah, and at least we have like the setup framework to do the work. Yeah, and it's not easy. You don't even. This room is even so huge to have a workshop like ours because just a few printers at the corner. A small workshop to do the assembly and everything, small desk and a bench to receive patients, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, are you based in a hospital or you just have
No,
like
it's a really small apartment.
Oh,
Along Kindaruma Road. Yeah, and that's it. The printers are in the kitchen because that's where the work is.
She's Tash listening to this.
this is the real startup
Yeah,
life?
the printers are in the kitchen. You're printing your Been there, yeah.
Exactly.
That's so
Oh,
dope.
so the patients come to the apartment.
Yeah, so they come
for the-
into like the sitting room. We have a place for them.
Oh, cool.
And they come in, and the training bars are also there. So we
Yeah.
encourage new patients to see actual patients walking and trying to walk, and it's like sort of a family
Yeah.
setup.
Setting, yeah, I can
The
imagine.
microwave and a kitchen to make whatever, and you should come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah,
You
please
should.
do. You're so welcome.
You should go hang out there
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and many people have told me, even especially employees who weren't exposed in disability spaces, that they really learned a lot and their lives have been changed just from serving, at the company. Yeah.
Oh, this story keeps getting better. So since inception to date, how many prosthetics have you served?
Yes, so mainly below knee, because as I said, that's what we are 100% sure that 3D printing is a good solution for that. And whenever we get above knee patients, we haven't really got in our workshop. We're working on that, but we use other providers that have been kind enough to assist us with their workshop. So about 100 Kenyans are working with our below knee prosthetics.
Nice.
Yeah, we have made 2 myoelectric hands because it's
okay.
really expensive. We don't get a lot of that, and about 40 above knee.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And then you've been here around for
in
like
a bit more than a year,
That's pretty
a year and a
good.
half.
because you're also dealing with human lives, like
Yeah.
quite
No,
literally.
for a year
Yeah.
for probably that's 142 patients.
Yeah.
But for 1 year, a lot of startups don't even get to this number of customers.
Yeah.
That and out of this, how many are paid for? How many are free, and how many do people pay for?
Yeah, so starting off, no one knows about 3D printing. What is this gimmick? So we had to go to the Ministry of Health, the
Yeah.
PDK, talk to guys, show them.
Oh, wow, even the Ministry of Health?
devices. Yeah. We have some support from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, they've attended a few of our launches because we moved office. Yeah, so we have some good support from the ministry. And sorry, I think I forgot the question.
How many
It's
are paid for? How many are free?
Okay. So we started off with giving 20 free.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically the ones we gave are our brand ambassadors.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we call them in every now and then. One actually even did the Paralympics.
Oh, wow, cool.
He was a boxer. Yeah, it was really fun seeing we sorted that guy out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now we are giving the 300. We are now at 78. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we're pushing.
How about regulation?
And by the way, anyone you think needs a below knee prosthetic, please, we are the
Okay.
guys to call.
We'll put a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about the regulations
regulation.
because
Yeah,
I don't
so-
think like medical devices, especially the
Yeah.
prosthetics, have in Kenya. I don't know educators have that much regulation around them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the regulation that there is that they should these devices should be made by a certified prosthetist. So as much as I'm an orthopedic surgeon, I can't make the devices.
Okay.
They are the only ones licensed to make it because it's personal. It's customized. Each patient gets their own
different- yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to go to KEBS and say, okay, certify this one. And then this one I've made tomorrow. Yeah, so that's it. And now that we're 3D printing, it's still the same thing because the design is still by the prosthetist. And once he has done the modeling on the computer, that's his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then now the printer takes over.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Did you ever put any of your money to get this company started off?
Yes, absolutely. That's how it goes, right?
You can raise money from VCs. And
Yeah. So, we met with my co-founder, blended instantly, and it's an interesting story because I've been researching about 3D printing for about 10 years.
Oh, nice.
And looking at the medical applications, but I didn't really know how to actually get hands on the devices and run the business, and also there was the cost to it. But what's interesting, in 10 years, the cost of the printers went down significantly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 10 years ago, getting a scanner was like 900 Gs, literally. Yeah, and it was mainly in industry. But now we're using an iPhone. You know, yeah. So that changed, and it made it a lot cheaper to start. Now the guys I've teamed up with are Ugani, and they developed the software that we use and the workflow. And basically, throughout my research, one of the companies that I had correspondence with linked me up with Ugani, who is now my co-founder. Yeah, so that's how we got it started. And yeah, I put in some money and human capital and sweat. And yeah.
Have you ever
And-
tried getting
yes.
like funded from your family, friends?
Not directly, but I've gotten a lot of support.
Lot of support,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, because we really needed to get the word out there. Yeah. So I've gotten some really good support from friends and colleagues and family as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So what's the future for Prothea? What does...
Yeah, so that's exactly how it started. We're not just a prosthetic company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are, as a surgeon, and that's why I love it so much, because 3D printing allows you to really incorporate the printing into your surgical work.
Yeah, which is cool. Yeah.
So, like right now, I'm saying right now because it may change.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm interested in orthopedic oncology, resection of tumors. And basically, you can take a CT scan or an MRI of the tumor, know its exact extents, and then model how to resect it, and then print the cutting guides, and then sterilize it. And once you've opened up the body, then you put your guides on where you had planned and do the resection. Right now in orthopedic oncology, right now in Kenya, it's a bit about estimation. So you say, okay, I saw the image, or you look at the image on the wall, then you say, okay, I think it reaches about here, so let's cut here. But 3D printing adds the precision. You're 100% sure, like if I take this to pathology, the margins will be about 5 centimeters. Very precise. Yeah, so that's the work I want to do. Finesse
Sounds
work.
like artistic magician work.
Yeah, it is art.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
totally art. Yeah, and a lot of processes that go through it.
Yeah.
And definitely want to be one of the first to do it in Kenya.
Do you work with other like orthopedic surgeons? Are you hoping to like bring more on? Like,
Yes. Yeah, I'm really trying, and I'm hoping even forums like this, will speak to one or two to join me, because I feel the colleagues are more on the traditional
absolutely.
line of, okay, I just need to
And I can
look
imagine they're
for-
very old school.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this like 3D printing.
yeah, and it's something that has been going on for years, and
Yeah.
I know it can really help our situation. Yeah, so yeah.
Do you have partnerships right now? Did we talk about that with like any hospitals or?
Yeah, with Prothea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are currently solo.
Okay.
And
So how do they know
this
about
is
you?
important, an
Yeah.
important message.
Yeah.
Because we can make you have a prosthetic lab. You don't need to invest in making a prosthetic lab.
Yeah.
You can use Prothea
Yeah.
to make your prosthesis. Why do I say so? We don't need the patient to come to us. One of our guys can come to your hospital, do the
Scan
scanning,
and everything. Yeah.
go home,
And deliver.
come back to be fitted.
Yeah.
Literally, easy. And you charge whatever you want to charge, and just give Prothea its dues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many like a hospital, like say like Aga Khan, how many do they see in a day?
Yeah, so that speaks to now the socioeconomics
Yeah.
of amputations in general.
Yeah.
And most of amputees in the lower socioeconomic, so you'd find most of them in the public hospitals.
Oh, interesting.
The Kenyatas, the Kijabis, the Kikuyu, many orthopedic hospitals. But again, it depends on why you amputated, because you may be an affluent guy and you got a diabetic foot and got amputated. So, but amputees are less in Nairobi and
Interesting.
Aga Khan sides. Yes. So it's basically to say that most of them are in the lower, in the public setting. Yeah, and all the more need for us to support and try push government insurance, national insurance fund,
That's
just to
dead.
incorporate the devices.
It's not what is it?
SHA, but now we don't know if it's still
What
gonna
is
be
that?
SHA. So
Yeah. It's a
Yes.
pretty big mess we have with our healthcare system in Kenya. Yeah.
But we really need to advocate. And, for me, I think each doctor should just choose one thing and run with it and talk about
And
it.
you're
try
running
push.
with, like-
Yeah, for me, it's now orthopedics in general, access to assistive devices, and providing prosthetics for amputees. That's what I want to be known for. That's the mark I want to live.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done any partnerships? There are many startups that are doing border things. Border
Yes.
insurance. I mean, I
Yes.
don't know how successful they are,
Absolutely.
but
So, there's something we're working on. There's a startup that does electric border. So
Yeah.
we want to have those who can't afford the prosthetics get a prosthetic. We give a border so that they can use to work, and then whatever they earn will pay back the prosthetic. But it's still in the ideation phase, and we have a partner already, so we're working towards that.
Isn't
So
that
basically,
true? Yeah.
we'll create employment, and yeah.
okay.
What do you think? Since you guys are exposed to this,
I don't know if you had to become a border driver. Do you think about the day you were involved in I don't know. I've never. The day you're in an
it may be
accident and you
traumatizing.
lose your
There's some hospitals. I think this must be around central Kenya, where there's a ward dedicated to border
Yeah,
accidents.
exactly. Yeah.
And I'm quite sure there are a lot of amputations that happen over there. So I think a better partner is a hospital as opposed to a border, because general insurance uptake is very low.
Yeah.
yeah.
And some people believe
But that would be an insurance borders should, I think, get.
Of course,
Yeah,
it should.
to get them back
Yeah.
to.
But can they go
the
back
work.
to riding after?
Absolutely. There's so many around.
really?
There's so many, yes.
Okay.
There's this guy we sorted out just along Kiambu Road. Yeah, and he's still a border rider. Many times none of his clients know, because you
Oh, yeah, you just cover it up. Yeah.
yeah, but he's working. He came with his wife, and I was asking, how do you allow this guy on the road?
Again. But how? It must be very traumatic, for them too. I can't imagine just one day you have,
Yeah.
and it's lost,
Yeah.
and then
And
you have to-
most of the time, it's tricky because
and the rehab you have to go through.
Sometimes the limb is so crushed, and as a doctor, you're sure this, we really need to amputate, but you still need consent.
Yeah.
So we amputate if it's life saving. By the way, there are times we just do it because it's your life is way more important. But there are those instances when you're stable, the leg is there, it's starting to decay and rot, and some actually refuse, and you say, there's no way you're taking my leg. And then now, you literally wait a week or two, and now it's very obvious that it needs to go. And I think this message should also be, whenever your doctor suggests an amputation, there are medical and logical reasons behind it. And you should just accept, because, many have died by saying, no, there's no way you're going with my leg. Many have died.
But have you provided the psychological? Because I keep saying it must be so hard.
Yeah,
It's
like you have to live a new life.
Yes, you can.
Because now, we take a lot of things for granted. But perhaps once you lose your leg, you have to really learn how to.
And there's this tug of war between the medical science and the emotional state. And that's why we're also advocating for holistic care.
Holistic. Yep.
Yeah. So before you amputate, ideally for like a cold case, basically like maybe a growth or a mass that we need to amputate, then you must talk to your nutritionist, your physiotherapist, your psychotherapist, most importantly, your prosthetist to describe like the device you're going to get. And that is the practice that I'm really advocating for, because most of the time it's like once the surgery is done, the patient goes to this guy and then this guy.
And I think that is the one key problem in Kenya. Like everyone is so siloed. Like you're referred to this person, this one does for good. Like so if you can provide that holistic, especially something that's so life-changing.
Yeah, so once I get my papers, that's what I'm going to focus on. Just having a center where, a one-stop shop, and we think of all the small details, nutrition.
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Do you have any final questions?
None.
You're good?
Just enjoyed the conversation.
I did too. Thanks, guys.
So yeah, there you have it. We had a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers this year. We are so far from it. So if you are watching this, please make sure you subscribe, comment, share the excellent work Prothea is doing. And even Nick became a member. He paid.
I did, yes. What is it? $2, $3?
Exactly.
Easy. Take my money every month. It's
love
okay
it.
because it's good content. So. Kudos, guys.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And we wish you, like as I said, if you fund these guys, man, these are the startups that should and must be founded like in Kenya. So good luck and good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you have to study for 11 years, so you're able to get started with a startup like this.
You do what you have to.
Like you're a Stanford dropout and you write code. Then you launch your social media website. This is like you have to spend years.
Yeah.
Years.
And that's what makes his story like really cool, I think. He's a doctor and then has seen how to marry two.
What's the name of that lady?
Which one?
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
Who wanted to reinvent how they do the assays and immunoassays and affect. And then one person came up and was like, medical innovation is very different from...
Yeah, kawaida.
It will take you like 15 years to just study a problem, experiment.
And she ended up being a fraud anyway.
Yeah, so medical innovation and anything. It's unlike social media and other things.
Yeah.
You need to have skin in the game to invent.
But I'm actually so excited that we have such, I feel like, at really top quality innovations. I mean, it might not be in Kenya, like it happens worldwide, but in Kenya starting to come up.
It's pretty good quality.
Yeah. Keep it up, Nick.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Nick, sorry. Put some respect here.
I know someone once joked that, like real doctors, they don't mind not being called doctors, but find someone who's a PhD in sociology.
Oh, yeah, it's like, hey, put the DR.
You must refer to me as a doctor.
Anyway, we've not ended, but thank you.
Oh, yeah, we're done.